Here we're going to talk about the trumpet that we make out of tubes in our air-powered program. These are the parts. A mouthpiece made of plastic, some tubing, a dollar store funnel. These are the elements that have made up trumpets for the last several thousand years. We're not exactly sure how far trumpets go back, but all you really need is a comb. This other stuff just makes it easier and changes the pitch. That's really hard to do, so this makes it easier. A commercial trumpet is made of the same parts. You have your mouthpiece, a big tube, and then a funnel at the end. There's no real physical difference between the way this produces sound and the tube trumpets that we'll be making. The only obvious difference are the valves. All these valves do is send the air down another bit of tube, making the tube longer. When I run this program, I hand out one piece of the trumpet at a time, so I'll start with the mouthpiece. And the first thing they need to learn is how to buzz their lips. Now the way to do that is to make a as if you're humming, just a shape. And you really tighten your lips. Then you stop humming, you disengage your vocal cords and just blow air out of those lips, but keeping them tight. Makes my ears vibrate. Next, you bring the mouthpiece right to the middle of that shape. And you buzz your lips into it. If they can't do it, get them to squish their lips and we'll do it as loose as possible and then work on tightening it up. Some students won't get it, but most students do. See if they can go up and down in pitch. That's tightening and loosening the lips, changing the airflow, let them experiment. If they want to experiment further, they can cup their hands around and change the timbre. I will have already spent some time with the class exploring how our mouth changes the timbre of the sound, so doing this shouldn't be that out of place. I also use the spectrogram quite a lot in this program, so I'll take this point to check in with the spectrogram and see what the sound of just the mouthpiece looks like. Once they've had a bit of time with the mouthpieces and most students are okay with buzzing their lips, then we will add the tubes. All they do is stick the mouthpiece into the end of the tube, and all of a sudden, pretty impressive. This is the point where you have to give the safety notice. Don't do this. Also, don't hold it up to a friend's ear. You can do actual damage to your ears if you put this right up against it, so don't let them do it. There are ways to play around with the tube at this stage. You can play with opening. You can pretend you're an elephant. You can swing it around as long as they haven't been playing with it too much. Of course, if they've been playing it for a long time, that will also make condensed water fly all over the place, so use your discretion with that one. Again, we'll check in with the spectrogram with just the tube and the mouthpiece to see what that sound looks like before we add the cone. Now there's two different sizes of cone. There's like a large and a medium. The large ones are very tight to fit in the tube, so they might need your help. Really, all you need to do is stick it in and then give it a twist. It doesn't need to be in any further than that. In fact, if you see students trying to squish it in any further, try and discourage that because they can get stuck. So this is a complete natural trumpet, just like they used to use in medieval times. It sounds like this. If they have that trumpet sound, you can try changes of pitch where you use the tightness and airflow. Teach them about tonguing by stopping the airflow with their tongue. Try flutter tonguing. Once they've had some time to try out their natural trumpet, I'll usually introduce this guy. This is of course a wheezy mute, and I'll talk about how you can change the opening of the trumpet by placing this in, and it changes the timbre quite strongly. What sounded like all of a sudden sounds like. So they can see placing an object in the horn of the trumpet will change the timbre quite a lot, just like our mouth changes the sound. Now I don't have wheezy mutes for everybody to try, but they can easily recreate this with their hand. There are two easy ways to play with changing the opening of the funnel. One way is to just hold it against different parts of your body, like. The other is to tuck it under your arm and to kind of hold it there so you can make a cup here. Of course, it's great fun to try that in front of the spectrogram. So that's just a few ways I've played around with the natural trumpet with students. I like them being able to hear how the instrument sounds with elements missing. You can try call and response games. I encourage you to keep exploring. Have fun.